Welcome to Logistics Business Conversations, where we talk with key spokespeople in the logistics industry about topical issues. Hosted by Peter McLeod, editor of Logistics Business Magazine.
Hello and welcome again to Logistics Business Conversations. We're at another special edition recorded in person live at IMHX in the Logistics Business Podcast studio. Today's edition is brought to you by our friends at Kardex and is entitled, What Makes a True Automation Partner? I'm joined today by Matt Harling. He's the AutoStore Sales Manager for Kardex. Hi Matt, and welcome to Logistics Business Conversations.
Hi Peter, thank you for having me. It's great to be here.
It's really good to be talking to you today, Matt. Now, partnership's very important. You know, what is a true partnership? What do we say defines that?
A true partnership is more than just the sell it and scarper approach. It's not selling a product, you're selling an entire solution. It goes way beyond the needs of a particular item. You've got to look at all the outside elements that will affect the decision and also optimize businesses.
So you're very, very specifically on the AutoStore side of the business. There are other businesses out there who are integrating AutoStore. So what makes Kardex different?
So Kardex look at it from a completely different angle. We are a turnkey provider. So not only can we sell the AutoStore, which is an amazing product, and there's an amazing well of partners who can also sell AutoStore, and they all have their own KPIs in many different ways. Whereas at Kardex, we try and look outside of the AutoStore, and we try and bring in other operational constraints and try and tackle those with the build of an AutoStore and take in additional roles and responsibilities for the clients, starting from everything that comes through the door, right through the process to how it actually leaves the building. So packaging side of it, the pallet storage, and any other bottlenecks you may find within an optimization. So
what are businesses coming to Kardex looking for? What are the solutions you can, or should I say, what are the challenges you can help them overcome?
So the biggest challenges we find is the return on investment side of piece is quite a hot topic at the moment. And a lot of clients are looking for that quick, how can I start fleecing the asset ASAP and actually start seeing that return come over? The idea is to pull in as much as you can into the automated solution as a whole, not just one particular element. So when we tackle this from various angles and we bring in these bottlenecks and other constraints, we can quite easily give them a clear path to a better ROI, making it a stronger business case and actually getting them on the ladder of automation as well. So,
and ROI now is just, you know, it's so essential, as you say, fast ROI. What can you say to businesses who these decisions are being made up in the boardroom now? You know, previously it's perhaps made at logistics manager level. Now it's probably more sort of director level. How can you convince a business that such a big investment is going to bring them a strong return?
I think for what we do, it's the proof is very much in the pudding. It's understanding not just the C-level, C-suite directors of the businesses who are making these quite high decisions with a lot of capital expenditure. It's talking to the staff who are actually going to be using it and operating it. That's where they get the biggest influence from whatever automation solution it is. And regardless of who the supplier is or what the technology is, if you can get a one-to-one with the people who are actually going to be using it and enhance their life and enhance their ability to do the job and collaborate with them, you're going to get much better focus from the C-level board members.
I remember coming across Kardex in 2007 here at IMHX, and it was very much then as almost like a single solution provider of a small parts dispenser, very, very sophisticated for its time. But it was a remarkable, tall, eye-stopping piece of kit. Kardex has evolved very much since then. Now, I don't know how long you've been with the business, but perhaps you can talk us through a little bit about some of your interface with Kardex and how it's evolved and developed since those times.
Yeah, perfect. So I've actually been actively working with Kardex for the last 5 months now. Previous to this, I worked for an integrator in the UK who utilised the equipment from Kardex, such as the traditional base Kardex system, which is vertical storage systems, your modular build systems and pallet systems from MLog. Their portfolio has definitely increased over time, and they go from everything from small parts handling right up to full pallet systems now. But in previous life, my job was very much build turnkey operations for clients, of which we could cherry pick the correct automation for the job. So I've worked with Kardex actively for around 10 years now, through various elements and various projects. Traditionally with the vertical storage, because if you've not got a lot of room and it's a small operation and you've got limited throughput, but you've got huge space up in the air, vertical storage is the answer. And it's very much the machine operates and fundamentally works by itself. It's once you've got one installed, they very rarely break. They don't have many issues, and they'll go for 8 years. We've got installations where they're 25 years old, these machines, and they're still operating functionally fine. And then their portfolios, Kardex, has definitely developed over the last sort of 4 or 5 years. So the AutoStore division's coming up to its 5th year as a partner of AutoStore. And because we was already in the realm of small parts from the Kardex Remstar, it was a perfect add-on and an addition and a natural progression of growth for a client to go from multiple mini-load systems into one automated cube storage, which is the densest storage you can get. So it was a natural progression from the client and a great business decision for Kardex, who already had market share in terms of small parts piece picking, into this development of the AutoStore and progress it from that point.
So I think, is it fair to say, Matt, that given your background, you've kind of got experience from both sides of the fence of what a partnership with Kardex looks like?
Correct, yes. So I've also obviously purchased from Kardex in the past, so I've dealt with the sales teams, but then I've also looked at it from an installation point of view when we've installed these machines with other clients and for the prospect accounts as well. So I've seen it from every angle as a customer facing, and now actively on the other side of the fence pushing the various solutions myself. Both sides of the fence is very much the answer, yes.
So let's drill down into that, shall we? So can you talk us through some of the interfaces that a customer would have when partnering?
So I think with any company that's selling a particular product or automation in particular, it all starts at the pre-sales phase. Like there's an element and a gap before you even get to talking about costings and prices and commercial aspects, where you're trying to just take the customers on a journey and trying to show them what the art of possibility is, and how you can actually put their model of work into that description, and then naturally show them how it would operate on a day-to-day basis, what it looks like in 5 years' time, and what it looks like in 10 years' time. So the start of all conversations with clients is how well do you know your own organisation? How well do you know your own operation? And how can we actually help you understand it in a better method? So there's a pre-sales phase that we try and consult, for a better word. We do maybe 80% consultation, trying to show them different angles in the light of what the art of the possible could be.
If I could stop you in your flow there, and we're not talking about something transactional here. This does sound very much like human chemistry at play here, and I guess that's something that hasn't changed in ever when it comes to selling, when it comes to consulting. So are we still in very much a people business?
Yes, I believe so. Yes, the most successful projects for any person selling automation, I find, always starts with the people interaction. And if you can become that trusted advisor before you've even started talking commercially or you've built in projects, that customer is always going to come to you for education. They're going to come for you for just random questions. It may not be anything to do with the solution that they're talking about, but they're coming to you as a friend as well. So you actually befriend the clients way in advance, which makes the strong foundations for a partnership.
And these are the guys that are going to lean on you. Things don't always go right. When they do go right, we can all sell. But I guess when the challenges come, that's when you really have to show your method.
Correct, yeah. And it's not point the finger and blame at all. It's more, we have an issue, let's solve it. And a true partner would jump on board with that and push the best solution forward to solve whatever the issue is, regardless of where it's come from and whatever it's going to be affecting. Because the idea is that if you've got an unhappy client, you haven't just got an unhappy client, you've now lost a friend, you've lost future projects, and you've lost that trusted advisor portfolio you want to try and maintain. So it's very much trying to solve the issue at hand, and what's the best way of doing it.
So moving through from the sales phase, do we then go into what, implementation?
So implementation, also known as the realization phase, which is basically you've seen this project that the sales team have produced, and at that point it's all theoretical, it's all pretty pictures that are done on
running the models,
SketchUps. Yeah, that's right, and it all looks fancy. And then you've really got to adapt that into the live environment. So there's a number of challenges that are going to affect your installation. So having a good realization team with good project managers in house, good installation partners, and it makes the world of difference from the client. The client wants to just know that the job's being done, and it's being done in a manner where at any one point they can check in, understand where they are in the progression, what the next steps are, and how they actually get into the next design window or the next opportunity in the project planning.
And so we reach go live. What does that look like?
Go live's the best part of all projects because you've seen the idea materialize, you've seen the concepts, you've seen all of the planning, you've seen the growth of a customer at that point. So you've seen them come from no automation or limited automation into this new world of everything's automated. So as soon as you hit that go live, you've done all the fat testing, you've done all the acceptance testing, the system's running as it should, you press the green button, and it's a live operation. That's the most exciting time, because you've then got the client on board. You've shown them how you install it. They've been with you on the journey, so they've not just seen it go live, they're there. They're seeing it being built, so they see it from the bare bones. Go live, that it's operating fine, and then you see the dynamic change in a client from, this is the new world. This is so much easier than what we used to. Why did we not think about this sooner? And then from that point, we're always continually trying to optimize what's already there at that point. So the partnership grows from there. And it's a case of, right, we've installed this great system with multiple technologies and brought it all together. And we're now going to start discussing, right, okay, how can we make this even better? So we identify new bottlenecks or new constraints, and then we add more to the system to enhance it. And we do that on a recurring basis with the clients over however long they want to be able to come with us and hold us as partner.
Do you reach situations where you can walk away and say, okay, well, that's job done? Or is there always an element of you being retained to optimize what's been...
Yeah, so what tends to happen is the sales management team that we have, and this happens across the industry, I believe, we sell the project into there. It goes through the realization phase, which is really the only handover to somebody else throughout the whole transaction. And that's because we're handing it to a project manager who needs to look at this from a project point of view. But the sales team and the account managers in the background are always there. And through the development, once we go back to go live, we will hand the system over to the client. Their main objective is to run that system properly. We're in the background. We have a good support team. So we have an aftercare team who will look after them from a maintenance point of view, and they will look at it from every point of the system. But the account managers and the sales team are always there on hand to do quarterly business reviews. They're there to do the optimization, also to talk about developments, extensions, possible new warehouses, and really grow the customer into the future. And that's the big push, really, to show them what 10 years looks like and how they get there, take them on the journey.
One of the criticisms of automation in general has always been once it's installed, it's fixed. And then that doesn't necessarily allow for great flexibility, whether that's, with a contract changes within a 3PL or whether just the, a product range, shape, size, volume changes within an existing contract. How can you build in flexibility into an automation project when using AutoStore?
So AutoStore itself is actually fantastic for flexibility because it can be collapsed and rebuilt in another warehouse if need be. It's modular in the fact you can extend it around building columns, over the top of mezzanines. You can add to it quite easily. You remove certain runs of the actual walls and just extend the grid. So the automation from AutoStore is fantastic. In that respect, there are other technologies that you can do the same thing with, right? This isn't just AutoStore and they're the market leaders for automated storage retrieval. It's more, every technology should be built in mind with additional growth patterns and growth plans. And that's where the partnership angle comes into it. If you can clearly demonstrate how that customer can grow, whether it be the same technology extended or the addition of other technology. So robotic piece picking is a topic at the moment across multiple sites and operations, especially with 3PL, because they want to increase the automation without having to increase the labour to support it from a human point of view. So the extension and the growth plan of any automated system, regardless of its supplier, is vital to the partnership and the connection. So 3PL is a really good example because they will build their contracts based on new clients wanting to store products. So from an automation partnership point of view, you need to try and be a bit more flexible in terms of how you're going to store a product or demonstrate how you could store a potential new product coming into the market. And it's very much taking them on that journey.
I don't know if you've got kids or not, but this sounds like the best Lego set ever.
It is, yes. And I have got a 7-month-old daughter, so I'm recent into the dad club. Sleep deprivation.
Be on your hands and knees with a Lego set
I can't wait.
before long. And if you can bring that sort of childlike enthusiasm and passion to the industry, then that's tremendous. And I guess, that you have to be passionate about it because it is all embracing.
Yes, and I absolutely love my job. Because it's a technical sales role, but it's also a personal relationship that you develop with a client from an education point of view, from potentially knowing nothing to demonstrating what it could be and what other available technologies there are. So being that trusted advisor, but enjoying it along the route, it just makes the whole world a difference.
And so we're recording here at IMHX. We're in Birmingham, a beautiful sunny day for a change. What are the conversations you're having here with your customers? Are you hoping to extend existing relationships? Are you hoping to meet new people?
Yes, very much so. A bit of both. So we have existing clients who are coming to see us, and they come to meet other management within our own portfolio to shake their hands, and we encourage them to come. But we also encourage them to come and view other automation. Come and look at what's out there. Educate yourselves and your teams and see what's on the market. And then the secondary aspect is the target of new clients. We want to demonstrate that, yes, whilst we have the automation and we have this raft and portfolio of different technologies, we can also help and advise in terms of other areas. So, for example, if a client's looking for a packaging machine, we can go and help them and consult with them and show them the other fantastic suppliers who are here, who have got this technology. And that trusted advisor point of view comes up again and again and again and reoccurring. And that naturally draws in people who are wanting projects but need help being able to design them and show what it could be. And that's really our focus area.
Matt, that sounds like a really good example of what a partnership should sound like. And also to have the confidence to come to a place such as a trade show, a trade fair, and say, don't just look at us, come and look at our competitors, come and look at the other solutions out there. Not only will that reassure them that perhaps they're backing the right horse, but it also gives them the confidence in you. I like that approach.
Yeah, no, it's great because there's 1,000,001 technologies out there now. The market is flooded with different technologies and they all do something fantastic. But being able to piece the correct technology for a solution can sometimes be challenging. But if the customer's already got that level of exposure to it, of which we're happy to take them on that journey, it's great because they do half the job for you at that point because they have an idea of what they want. They just need to know how it all works and collaborates. And then that's where your partnership comes back into it. Say, right, excellent. We can tackle this bit with automation A. We can tackle that bit with automation B, and so forth. Before you know it, you've got a fully operational turnkey solution, but you've gone through the same advisor and the same partner that can look after it for 10 years plus.
So maybe stepping away from the more specifics around automation, when you have conversations with your customers in general, what are the things that keep them awake at night around their logistics operations?
Yeah, so there's a lot of things, and the biggest tick is anything that goes down. So if the automation turns off, everything else turns off. The customers that they are then providing to get a bit angry, and it goes uphill at that point. So there's always a chain of command that they have to appease, and the KPIs of keeping an automation system running is vital. And at Kardex, we have what we call the LCS, which is the after sales and the maintenance of all the operations. And the team's fantastic. They'll work 24/7 around the clock. We've got technical response, as most competitors have, as most of the market has. But it's about having that relationship even from the engineer's point of view, knowing that the engineer can come and fix it within an hour. Fantastic. And I think that's the biggest red flag for any client. Great, we've got this automated solution and it's fantastic. How can we maintain it and how can we keep it running? Because the minute it turns off, that's problems.
Downtime. What about some of the challenges around costs and labour availability?
So I think COVID in the UK especially was, for automation suppliers, was actually quite a green tick because the fact all the agency staff had to move back to their own countries, it actually left a gap in the market where people couldn't get the labour they required to fulfil the jobs and to fill the roles in the warehousing. So from an automation point of view, it makes sense then for a client to say, well, how can I actually do this, but in a way where I don't need to rely on heavily labour agency staff? And it's not just about getting the numbers, it's about getting the good numbers as well. So you want someone who can do the job, do it well, without having to have the handheld for however long, because then you're taking up two people's roles. So from a labour point of view, it's vital that a solution works and also doesn't just remove humans, because we're not trying to do that. We're trying to enhance the ability of humans and give them a better quality of life whilst at work. So we want to collaborate in every angle of automation.
So the pandemic predates your time at Kardex, but you were still involved in automation at that time. You saw a rapid growth in the market then. Was the automation market able to respond successfully to that?
Yes, the automation market has definitely spiked during the pandemic across the globe as well. And it's very much, as soon as they highlighted the issue at hand, which was very much the labour, we can't physically do this because I got someone to do it. And they thought, right, we need some form of robotics or automation to complete this task. And so at the time, during the pandemic, I had to fulfill the role of two particular roles, which was the sales at the front end and then the project management on an active site that we were still installing. We couldn't get an installation team at one point. So we actually ended up having to outsource it to another third party who was able to help us out. But seeing it even from a site realisation point, the numbers of staff to do a particular job just dropped off. So the only way you can naturally pick up that and ensure that programs are met, ensure that deadlines are met, which is when the clock starts ticking, is to look at automation.
And that's continued to be fueled by a growth in e-commerce?
Yes, definitely. So there's a lot of consumers now who they'll go home on a night, the first thing they do is pull up their Amazon and they'll look for various products, and then all the technology in the background's constantly retrieving these orders, regardless whether it's going through the likes of an Amazon or any other particular shop online. It's the fastest and most efficient way for an end user to get something that they need or require. So naturally, I think as the growth and evolution of humans, we have traditionally become a little bit more lazier because we can get it on demand as and when we want, and it's there and available, more importantly.
I don't know about you, but when I order something online, I can't help thinking about the processes that it goes through from the consumer interface all the way through to delivery at the last mile. It's really quite extraordinary, and it's kind of a sense of regret that our business is kind of the hidden power behind that.
It's very, very much a different dynamic. So when I talk to my friends who have nothing to do with the industry and they ask me what I do for a living and I try and explain it, the only way I can explain it effectively is to talk them through that process. Mm-hmm. So you're going to order this item, and then I have to go through every possible touch point of that item before it comes to my door within 12 hours.
Extraordinary.
And when you explain that journey to people who have never heard of it or don't know anything about the world of automation, they just think it just happens. Wizard wand, but we know there's a hell of a lot of processes in the background there that have to be aligned for it all to work smoothly.
So they certainly think they start to know about it when things don't arrive on their doorstep when they expect them to.
And if you're looking at a 12-hour turnaround for something you ordered the night before, just taking into consideration the night shift alone to try and produce these items, and everybody else who's still awake to get you that garment or whatever it is, it's just immaculate. And then when you understand the processes involved, it's pretty good. And then end users, as we all do, we complain when it's a day late, even though it's next day delivery. It's been 12 hours. You'll be absolutely fine. It's coming, don't worry.
Well, Matt, I'm feeling your enthusiasm for the sector as we speak, and it's great to behold. As we come towards the end of this episode of Logistics Business Conversations, just wonder if you just give us some final thoughts about partnerships within the sector.
No problem at all. So anyone can install automation, and there's a lot of providers out there who do fantastic pieces of equipment, but only a few of them can be true partners, and you're really looking for that true partnership. We've just come across a new accolade of our 100th AutoStore site in the network, being only 4 years old, and it's proof that our partnerships are actually developing. Some of these are existing clients who are having new warehouses built across all of the globe. We're branching into other areas in the globe because of the customer demands. So we're taking in more of the Saudi community, we're taking in Australia, New Zealand, because this is where our clients are expanding, and we're expanding with them. So we're taking in all of their concerns and constraints and trying to develop with them. Most of the clients that we get at the front end stay with us for the duration. And I think if you're out there actively looking for a true partnership, you need to be looking not just now, look into the future, make sure it aligns with your core values, and do what your gut tells you.
It's such a good measure of a business's capabilities is its customer retention rate. Well, Matt, it's been a great pleasure speaking with you today. Thank you very much for joining me today in our studio here at IMHX. Thanks also to Kardex for supporting this edition of Logistics Business Conversations. And thanks to you, the listener, for joining us today. Wherever you get your podcasts from, please subscribe to Logistics Business Conversations to make sure the next edition is delivered straight to you as soon as it's released. Until then, it's goodbye from Matt Harling.
Thank you very much, Peter.
And it's goodbye from me, Peter McLeod. Goodbye.